Hello aspirants, welcome back to OJ's Prep. So from today we'll continue or we start the CPC series, which is mostly not so good subject to start, but it's an important subject because you can't skip it. From prelims to mains it will come and you have to be prepared enough to fight it back. So today we start with the basic, what is decree. Okay, and let me tell you the thing how this series will go. We'll practice some previous year questions and how we will structure the answers, and that's how we'll continue. So there was this question previously asked in the OJS examination, that define decree and state the essential element. So the question was for 15 marks. To start, we'll write what is decree defined in section 2 clause 2. So we'll answer like section 2 clause 2 of the CPC define decree. It means the formal expression of an adjudication which conclusively determine the right of the parties with regard to all or any of the matter in controversy in a suit. Decree can be of three types: preliminary, final, and partly preliminary, partly final. There is another concept named deemed decree. Deemed decree is not a decree whole total, but it doesn't fulfill whole condition of the decree, but there is certain condition fulfilled, so it deemed as decree. So it includes rejection of plaint and determination of any question within section 144, and you have to remember it because this might come in your prelim exam and as well as your mains. Okay, order of dismissal for default and any adjudication from which the appeal lie as an appeal from an order not considered as decree. So when we will answer for what is decree, we have to structurize it as first define what is decree and the types and who are included in the deemed decree and what is not deemed decree. Next, a decree is preliminary when further proceeding have to be taken before the suit can be completely disposed of. A decree is final when such adjudication completely disposes of the suit. Means preliminary when there is something left over, and in final it's the end. Okay, a decree can be partly preliminary and partly final when one part of the decree is final and other part is temporary. In a suit for possession of immovable property, where the court passes a decree for possession of the property and direct an inquiry in the mean profit, the former part of the decree is final, what is the possession one, and the latter part, which is calculate the means profit, will be in the final part. Means the adjudication is continue. Final decree is already part decree is already passed and the final one is there. So decree, and then the question is state the essential element. If the question is define decree and it is a 5-mark question, then here your question end. But the question here is define decree and state the essential element. So we have to extend and explain whole definition, what is adjudication and what is the conclusive means of nature. Okay, so let's continue. A decree must have following essentials. There must have been an adjudication in suit. You should have noticed that I always choose the words which already there, because in essential you can't add anything from your mind. If you will connect to your bare act language, then there is possibility you will get a quite a push. Like if someone write in their own word, it's okay, but if you write with bare act words, then you will get a hype. Okay, so a decree must have following essential. First one is there must have been an adjudication in a suit. The adjudication must have determined the right of the parties in respect of all or any of the matter in controversy. Such determination must be conclusively determined, resulting a formal expression of an adjudication. So what is adjudication? Then you will underline the word adjudication. In order that a decision of court be termed as a decree, it is essential that there must be an adjudication. That is a judicial determination. So adjudication is a judicial determination of the matter in dispute. If there is no judicial determination of any matter in dispute, it is not a decree. Such judicial determination must be by a court. Thus, in Deepchand versus Land Acquisition Office 1994 Supreme Court, it was held that an order passed by an officer who is not a court is not a decree. So here we contain a case law, and case laws are your plus one means your bonus. If you add more case law, you will get more bonus, because everyone in the exam will write law, because everyone read the law, so they qualify the prelim, and in mains they everyone know laws, and there is the competition between how many case laws you learn and how many case laws are there and your structure of writing. Okay, so then such adjudication must have been determined right of the parties. The term right means substantive right of the parties and not merely procedural right. The expression matter in controversy refer to subject matter of the suit with reference to which refers is sought. Such determination must be conclusive in nature. Determination of right of the parties must be conclusive and not interlocutory. An interlocutory order which doesn't decide the right of the parties finally is not a decree. If the determination doesn't means explain the right of the parties, what is the nature of the decree then? Then it is not called as decree. An order refusing adjournment or diffusing or granting interim relief are not count as decree. When we are writing about essential of decree, then we also say that we can add point that what is not count as decree. But if you ignore those things, quite good, but don't write wrong. Okay, if you know something, then write. If you don't know or have any confusion, just avoid those things, because if you don't write something, then you get 0. But if you write something wrong, then you are communicating any wrong information, and those information shows the examiner that you are over smart, and this over smartness cut your more marks. Okay, so next para will be like order 20, because we complete the section part like 2 plus 2, and now we'll continue with the order. Order 20, Rule 6 of CPC provide that the decree shall agree with the judgment and shall contain the name of the suit, name and description of the parties, their registered address, specify the relief granted or other determination of the suit. Order 20, Rule 6A provide that the decree shall be drawn up within 15 days from the date of judgment is pronounced. These are comes under your prelims exam, and you all guys knows this small pinpoint, so you can add those. Order 20, Rule 7 provide that the decree shall bear the date which the judgment was pronounced. Means although the decree should be released within the 15 days of the judgment pronounced, but when the decree come to your hand, they will carry the date of the judgment when that was pronounced. That was written on Order 20, Rule 7. A decree is based upon judgment, and decree is always follow a judgment. A decree contains the outcome of the suit and conclusively determine the right of the parties with regard to issue in dispute. In the case of Sundar Pritam Singh versus Additional District Judge Mathura, the court held that a decree is said to be nullity if it is passed by a court having no inherent jurisdiction. In the Supreme Court in Shankar versus Chandrakant held that a decree becomes final in 2 ways. When time to file appeal has expired without filing appeal, or the matter is decided by the High Court, and when decree so far as regards the court passing it completely disposes of the suit. So it is about the 10-mark question if comes under your OJS examination or APP or APO or any judicial examination, that what is decree and state the essentials, and you also attach a good conclusion. And if you have a good conclusion, then comment it down, and do like, comment, share and subscribe to OJS Prep, and we'll continue with more law questions and provide you proper law answers that you can use in your exam, because I see that everyone know laws, everyone reading the bare acts, but where we lack that we don't know how to figure the answer, how to add the case laws, and what is the structure. So in this space I will help you in writing answers. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye, and let me know that what more you can add